Welcome everybody. I see there's a lot of viewers so far, Baruch Hashem, and we have people joining from across America. We even have in Israel joining us, so Baruch Habayim to everybody. The idea now is to get into the preps for this campaign. I mean, we, as of now, many of you have been working already on your matchers. I'm sure that, a lot of them have confirmed, some are still in the making. But as we're working with the matchers simultaneously, what we like to do in this webinar is basically give you the full lay of the land of what needs to happen, leading up to this campaign. Those who have run charity campaigns in the past are aware of the steps that need to be taken. But right now, what I would like to do is we have a very unique, a special presentation I would like to go through so everybody gets a clear picture of what needs to happen to make sure this campaign is done with optimum success. So the title of this webinar is Training for Organization Leaders Leading Up to this Campaign. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I would like for, we have a nice presentation set up here, and we're going to follow along. It's going to be a very, very simple process. Okay, guys, so here we have the Rock the Clock step-by-step charity promotion for organization leaders. And what we're going to do here is there's a few channels of communication. We're going to go through everything. This should be about 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to try to pack it all in quickly because I know everyone has a busy schedule. And the recording will be available as well for afterwards. So right away, the first step when contacting charity, and especially with this Giving Day, the Friendship Circle Giving Day, is to set up your page. We have Sarah here in the office working with many of you guys, many of the shluchim, in order to ensure that this campaign is successful, that the page is set up properly, and that everybody has a nice page. So in the campaign itself, we have the actual matchers on top, as you see up here, and then we have the campaign text down here, which will be finalized as well. After that, I mean, the question is who needs to be involved to make this campaign successful? There, as you see here, there are 5 parties. There's 4 essential parties and 5 possible parties to be involved in order to ensure optimum success. Starting with, we have here, Charidy needs to be involved with this campaign. What would Charidy do? Charidy will manage and consult all participating parties. It means everybody within your organization will be consulted with somebody at the charity office, with your fundraising specialist, to make sure that they know their duties and responsibilities for the campaign itself. And they will lead the direction of the campaign based on our best practices, based on our experience that we've done in the past over so many times of doing these campaigns. We could tell you, we could prepare a model, use the same model of success we've used in other campaigns to apply it to your campaign as well. The next that needs to be involved are the organization leaders. Organization leaders in this case would be either shluchim, shluchais, people that are in touch with the donors. And what we need to do is we need to, I mean, most of you have already identified the matchers, but for those who haven't, the organization leaders' responsibility is to, number 1, identify matchers and secure those matchers. Number 2, to identify middle-tier donors. And number 3, to identify influencers. Now, I want to touch upon middle-tier donors and influencers here for a moment. Middle-tier donors are people that are, could give you, there can be a matcher. Let's take an example. You're doing a $100,000 campaign. So the matcher will be $25,000, but somebody who gives you $2,000 or $3,000 a year cannot be part of the matchers, but he's considered a middle-tier donor. To identify those middle-tier donors leading, like right now, 3 weeks before the campaign, and have them, line them up with a donation saying, you give us $2,000 last year, you give us whatever it was last year, could I count you in for $5,000 with this campaign? Could I count you for $5,000 for this campaign? That would be the best thing, and then we'll create an Excel sheet or some sort of sheet and have them lined up that as the campaign goes live, already have a lot of the goal already secured beforehand. Number 3, which is identify the influencers. These are people that will come in and make calls on the day of the campaign. These people are essential. We need to have them. The reason is because we need to create multiple points of communication. I mean, when somebody has when somebody has, sees it on their Facebook, gets an email, sees their friend also posting on Facebook, lav dafke, or not necessarily, they're going to donate. Once they get a phone call from an influencer, then they will be able to, it will encourage them to donate. The next thing is the organization staff. That means other people within the office. So a lot of times, shluchim will do this as well, the organization leader, but it's good to delegate these tasks. Number one, to compose and schedule the emails, which we'll get into in a moment. Start and manage a Facebook event. That means off your Facebook page or organization page, start with your event. Start an event and invite everybody to that event. Update social media on the day of the campaign itself. Want to update the social media. Number four here is collect creative content. That means you want to make a nice graphic of stats, things that you do, things that you've accomplished in the past. Maybe some quotes from quotes from volunteers, people that are that are involved with Friendship Circle or any other organization, to have them prepare some good content that you'll share on the day of the campaign, and plan and schedule a operations room, which we'll get into each thing in a moment. Influencers. So we mentioned we got to secure the influencers. Who are the influencers? Influencers are people that are, number one, they're social. They're good. They're excited. They're good to come into thing. They're typically the volunteers that would help you out in the Friendship Circle, in the homes. That's a typical influencer. Number two is they need to care about the organization. A big beer hug for you, Shkaya. Number three, they can make time. Busy people are lav dafka the best people to have them come in and make phone calls for 4 hours on the day of the campaign. And then that's the influencers. Now, what do these influencers do? They amplify all your messages in a personal way. In other words, instead of saying Friendship Circle is an awesome organization, they do awesome things, they make it personal. They say, I attend Friendship Circle, I volunteer in a home, I benefit so much, please help out. Once you make it in a personal way, you're taking it out of this global, amazing, phenomenon, and you're actually connecting with the person they're calling. Number two, invite people to the Facebook event from their own page. Join the operations room, and lastly, update every hour on the day of the campaign. With their Facebook, just keep it pumping. This is a real option. It's not at all necessary. I don't suggest it, but to getting a marketing company. This is for, I would say, only bigger campaigns. I know some of you on the line are doing big campaigns. If you want to get a real marketing team on board to get PR and get the name out in the city, it's advisable, but you do not need it. It's purely for persumenisa. It's not really for actual success. All right, so moving along. 4 channels of communication. We discussed this earlier. We're going to get into each one and what needs to happen. We're going to prepare 8 emails to set out. The schedule of the emails we'll discuss in a second, when those emails will be set out. So there's emails, that's 1 channel communication. There's social media, which is Facebook. Update your personal page. Update the organization page. The event or the group, got to update the event or the group. That means once you have off your page, you're going to create an event. You're going to update that event as well. And lastly, it's Thunderclap, which is something which is something that would work with Facebook in order to push out further. This is also an option. This is not necessary. If you need any further details, you can contact us directly here at Charidy. Lastly is influencers, to make some calls. Not last, sorry, the 3rd channel communication, influencers. How many influencers do we need? So the cheshbon we made, the calculation we made with the influencers are that the amount of influencers you have, the size of the campaign, that's going to determine the amount of influencers we need. So if you're doing a $100,000 campaign, we will need 10 people consistently throughout the campaign calling. That means you want to do pockets of times of 2 hours, or times of 2 hours at a time, or 3-hour shifts, 4-hour shifts. But the point is to have 10 people constantly calling, and obviously you'll prepare them with lists, which we'll get to in a moment. Lastly is the operations room. These are influencers that are going to push the campaign. This is the operations room itself. What happens in operations room? Number one, you're going to send out texts, personal emails, and most effective would be personal calling that we are going to have these influencers do. The timing, when should we start? So now we got everything prepared. got the influencers in place. We got, you know, everything in order. We got the emails are set up, the Facebook, the events, everything. But when do we start telling people about this campaign? So the middle tier donors, you'll tell them about a week or two before the campaign to line them up with an increase on their donation. But the masses, the amcha, the people of your community, we're not going to tell them until 48 hours before. The reason is because we want to launch the campaign at the peak of their interest. We want to tell them it's happening. We want to launch. We want to be successful and get out. That means you're in and out before they even notice, and that's the most effective way to do it. So here's a promotion schedule. 48 hours before we send out the first email. Okay? Start off the communication with a mystery and suspense. Do not give the details and don't share the link of your campaign. So what is it going to say? It says something new is happening for Shuvu. When is it happening? Right here, you see at 11 a.m. on Monday. And it's happening, blah, blah, blah. We can't share any more details. It's very, very basic and just, okay, wow, this is interesting. I'm going to stay tuned. I want to hear what's happening. The next day, 24 hours before, you say it's coming tomorrow. What's coming tomorrow? We give the details, but we don't share the link. We say we're raising $200,000 in 24 hours. Every donation you give is quadrupled, and it's all or nothing. So we tell them already what's happening. This is a typical graphic that you might use. This is used in other campaigns. But as you see here, tomorrow, June 22nd, there will be a very special opportunity to make a real difference for Shuvu. And you have here, we're aiming to raise and how it's going to happen. Stay tuned tomorrow for the link, or, you know, that's what we tell them. Again, all of these sample emails are all in the campaign package, which I'm sure you've seen already. Share the link. Oh, then we go live. As we go live here, we share the link. What are we doing here? We share your link in your campaign. We say, here it is. You share the link with the, in a large text. Remind them of the pointers, so that means the pointers of all or nothing, 24 hours, and it's every dollar you give is quadrupled, and you share the link again because we want to make sure that they actually go ahead and donate. Now, we're gonna go through the emails I need to prepare. So there's 2 emails before the campaign starts. That means 48 hours, 24 hours, and as it goes live, you send the 3. Then we're gonna prepare an additional couple of emails because it's all about momentum, this campaign. And if we keep them updated in the momentum, that's going to ensure success. This is what an email would look like as we go live. Here we go. And we'll make that this whole graphic is clickable on the email. Next, here we prepare 5 emails. Email 1 is start, which we've seen just now. The next email we're going to prepare is 25% there. 25% their email is going to be the same idea, just we're going to tell them we just passed the 25 mark. Keep them updated, keep them in the loop, keep them engaged. The next one is going to be 50% mark. Again, change around the picture, make it look nice. The next one is 75%. And finally, when we reached our goal, okay? And you might want to include that, you know, there's still a chance to give. You could still give some more money because even though we reached our goal, you know, it goes by the clock. It doesn't go by the money, the goals. So right here we have the last and final email. And then once the campaign is over, we turn around and we tell everybody, listen, thank you very much. Mazal tov. You helped us do amazing things. That's with the emails. Now, operations room. If your operations room looks like this, then you're in good shape. But typically, the operations room is going to be people sitting around, and we're going to have some examples here of operations room. But people sitting around making phone calls. We're going to prepare the lists for them, calling lists. We have a credit card form that we're going to send out to all you guys with the you know, if they're not sitting in front of a computer and the person wants to give the credit card, then they will write it down on a credit card form, and somebody else will actually be putting it into the system, into the site. As well, they're going to have a script. We're going to give them a script to call because a lot of these people do not know what is the best way to be effective on the phone. That we will help them, and that's for the operations room on the day of the campaign. Here's the Cheder Matzav. These are in past campaigns we have. So we've got all types of people. We've got moms, we've got teenagers, we've got you know, bubbies and zadies, and little kinder also doing the operations room. This is, for example, operations room we did for another organization. As you see, you're going to put a big screen on the wall, and with the campaign live, the idea is to keep them, you know, keep them motivated in the room. As you see on the floor here, there's a lot of confetti. After they reach their goal, they pop one of those. Here's another example of operations room. So the idea is just to, you know, keep them in the loop. Here is a video of an operations room we've done in the past. Just give me 1 second. This is that big campaign we did here. You can see the excitement and the energy. I'm pushing it over the top. Mazal tov. And as you see, let the party begin. You could sing the song of your choice. No need to see, we're not specific about that. Anyway, and the idea is, this is very important to you guys to check this out. Charidy.com/blog/campaign package. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that before. And the code is 123Charity, as well as a blog for influencers, which is Charidy123. And that's about it. So I hope, I'm going to take off the screen now. I hope that everybody got a little clear picture. If there is any questions, you could feel free to go on the top right of your screen and ask any question you have regarding this campaign. Okay, so I see here we have somebody with a question asking, by when should you reach out to your influencers? So I would suggest, right now we're 3 weeks before the campaign, before the giving day. 3 weeks before the giving day, the idea is to just make sure the matches are secured, make sure the middle tier, simultaneously you can work on middle tier donors together with the matchers, get meetings with matchers, and then you could call up a person for middle tier. And then for influencers, I would wait to about, let's say, a week or a week and a half before the campaign to reach out to the influencers and have them come in and make a call. I would say in Friendship Circle's case, influencers are people that are the volunteers that go visit the homes. I think those are the most effective influencers, people to make the calls. And that is about it. Wishing you guys much hatzlacha and everything in this campaign, and reach out to your fundraising specialist. I'm sure you know who it is now with any question or anything. And so far, this thing is going to be very successful. We're going to have more and more people jumping on board for the next couple of days. And it's going to be a beautiful thing for not only for your local friendship circle, but for everybody as a whole. So hatzlacha rabba and all the best.